For draft one, our audience thought it was a good starting point, with the second fight scene being the best bit. They felt that the transition from where Tom was running along, slapped his knees and ran off, they thought that that was very awkward. They also felt that there was a bit of confusion in the fight scenes, as we never revealed the identity of the antagonist. Um, they also thought that during the performance, because of our competition, we had me and Tom at the front. They felt it wasn't focused enough around Tom. They felt it was split between me and Tom, and the costumes weren't great either. They didn't look how they would in that genre for music, because I was wearing a long sleeve blue shirt. Um, they also said that there was a big gap. The framing was poor. There was a big gap above us in the performance, and the audience lost interest as it was very slow cuts. And the effect we used between the bridge of the song, they didn't think there was enough emphasis on that effect, so we needed to give it more the next time round. In draft 2, the audience thought that the layout put a lot more focus on Tom, with me and Harry laid back behind him. They thought the costumes were also a lot more realistic, me with the round neck black t-shirt rather than the long sleeve blue shirt, Tom with a leather jacket rather than the bomber jacket. They thought that the close-up really helped link the two fights together, because you knew, or you could get the idea that it would have been the same person in the first one as the second one. However, they still thought the cuts were quite slow, and that they lost interest quite quickly. And another part of that is that there wasn't enough violence in that first fight scene. They also decided, after we put more emphasis on the effects, that it wasn't really working how we wanted it to, and it changed the colour a little, so it didn't quite fit. However, for our draft 1 digipack, which linked with the draft 2 video, they thought there was a clear link between the two with the background pattern. However, the digipack just wasn't enough. It was very repetitive and needed something where the spine was, and the magazine advert was very plain, but it was a good starting point as well. For our third draft, our audience said there was definitely a lot more energy in the performance. You could clearly see we were more going for it, which made it look a lot more realistic. The colours used in the performance also clearly created a brand image. They knew straight away it was recognisable, with the narrative in black and white to make the effects, the blue and red lighting in the performance, a lot clearer. It stood out a lot more. The cuts were a lot quicker, which kept them more interesting, and so did the new fight scene at the start, as we changed it up a lot more, and there was blood coming down from Tom's nose and he spat out blood at the end. It made it look more violent, and yeah, which helped the song. The performance change at the bridge was also effective, as it changed it up, kept them interested, but still had that clear link with the colour, so they knew that was still our product. They thought the ancillaries, which was our draft 2 ancillaries, were there was a very clear link, obviously, as you still had that pattern background and you have the lighting on top of that. However, the digipack was still very repetitive, and the spine wasn't great at all. It was just black spine areas. And for the magazine advert, because we never redid that photography, we just put a blue and red filter over it. They thought that that didn't really work, as you could clearly see it wasn't the lighting, so we redid that. And on the final ancillaries, we changed it to a 4-panel to have it being a lot less repetitive, and the spine on the digipack was just, it was a dark bluey, almost black colour with the album name and the band name on it, and it looked a lot more professional. The disc also looked very professional, they said, with the title of it and the band name, and then the small print and the logo for it. Um, they said that both products looked very, very professional looking, with the extra information in the adverts, like the social media links, the review spacing, and the website at the bottom. That all looked a lot more professional, and the proportions of the sizes of the text was definitely better, because it led you to look in certain directions. So first you'd see the image and you'd see Imagine Dragons friction at the or Imagine Dragons smoke and mirrors at the top, and then the next thing you'd look at is out now includes hit friction. The only negative they had to say was that on the magazine advert, where it said includes hit friction, and below that it had a website link, um, the bit in the middle, so hit, and the bit of the URL in the middle clashed with the white shirt. It was white text, so it made it a bit hard to read.